Oh no. Oh no, Elon Musk is selling stickers, and this has upset the European Union. They managed to do this exquisite thing they call bureaucratic artistry, and took a problem that everyone know existed and then announced it like they discovered fire so that they can put a fine on the fireplace. I mean, no, seriously, like only the European Union could call a paint sticker a threat to democracy. I just want you to understand why there is no democracy in the European Union, because like if you can threaten it with a sticker, then it's probably dead by now. So just so you can understand, somewhere in Strasbourg, an official genuinely typed, this is deception and exposes users to scam. It's like, buddy, the European Union is already scamming me. Like there's people working there for 10,000 euros a month out of our taxpayer money. I'm supposed to, pay everything a lot more than I should because of carbon credits. Like, if it comes to scammers, like, you guys should find yourself first. By the way, when's the last time that the European Union had an external audit? Huh? Anyone? No? Why not? Yes, I'm so glad the European Union came out and said, we must protect citizens from impersonation. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, great, can we talk about the energy crisis? No, we're going to talk about Elon Musk's stickers. It even managed to piss off the United States. Like you had Mark Rubio basically saying, like, dude, this is an attack on American people because it's obvious what's going on. You guys want to control free speech on our platforms. Like, if an American from Texas wants to do his speech of hate to an American from San Francisco, well, the European Union can't have that, so like they need to regulate and basically tell Elon Musk that you ban that conversation or we're going to find a reason to fine your ass. Seriously, the European Union is now treating X like it's a criminal mastermind. It's like watching a neighborhood council issue a 40-page legal motion against a lemonade stand. Literally that level, like technically yes, like the lemonade stand is in violation of God knows how many laws, but there is a reason why human beings make laws and not AI, because like it requires to have like some common sense. There is no deception in the blue check mark. Like, people actually know that in order to get a blue check mark, you just pay some money as a subscription. Despite the fact that it's called a verified badge, everyone knows that when Joe Biden is tweeting, it's not actually Joe Biden. Like, people assume that he's got staff. But the European Union says, like, no, like, since the verification isn't robust enough, then obviously X should pay. And unless, you have a camera open at all time when you use social media, then yeah, I guess my wife could use my account. Even though I have a blue check mark, it could mislead people. Holy shit. The reality is, though, like, they're really big-ass mad over the fact that the aristocracy on Twitter has went away. If you guys remember, like, during the Jack Dorsey era, this was literally how social media was designed. Most people were unable to get a blue check mark. The only way you could get a blue check mark is if you joined an actual news corporation that was like a multi-billion-dollar enterprise, so not Breitbart. But if you joined CNN or Fox News or the BBC, well, then you got a check mark. Another way to get it was to bribe people. A lot of leftists, they laugh at the fact that, oh my goodness, it costs $8 now. But back in the day, there were articles saying that people paid as much as $25,000 for a blue check mark. Why? Because it brought prestige, number one. And number two, I saw people with blue check marks just doxing others left and right, committing crimes, inciting to violence. Nothing would happen to them. And meanwhile, you had like people that didn't have a check mark and just said maybe journalists should learn to code, and those people would immediately get banned. And so like the way things worked on Twitter before is that if you had the blue check mark, you could literally drive a car and run over people. But if you didn't have a check mark, you'd get stopped for a broken taillight. And that was the universe, and of course they're butthurt about losing their prestige. You gotta take into account, like for people who are influencers or journalists or celebrities, like for them the name is the brand. And so like for them the business was the check mark. Like for normal people, if you gave, your dad a check mark during the Jack Dorsey era, Like, your dad couldn't monetize it, but a journalist could definitely monetize it. Like, especially when you had the ability of filtering other people that you can talk to, and you could talk with other blue check marks. Like, it was a lot easier to schedule interviews. Your visibility was really high. And on top of that, as we discussed, like, they wouldn't ban you for it. And so now Europe is bragging that this is the first DSA enforcement. In other words, like, they needed a high-profile, low-lawyer target to prove that the Digital Service Act isn't just a petty fee. And so X was perfect. They have a loud CEO with Elon Musk. It's got a messy platform and a business model that's basically trying to focus on the user first. Because, like, again, it's not perfect. And I understand, it doesn't focus on all the users. But compared to all the other social media platforms, X is actually more user-friendly than all the rest. And it's also interesting to point out that the reason they hate Elon Musk is that he's not collaborating with them. From my understanding, and this was rumored, that the European Union has already asked all the other platforms to crack down on hate speech, and if they do, they don't get fined. And so, interestingly, how Elon Musk is the only one that doesn't comply with the European Union, and he gets fined for the stickers, right? That's a Soviet tactic, if you didn't know. Like, you don't actually want to fine the guy for not removing hate speech, because then you make him a martyr. Then you make him a free speech activist. And so you fine him in a way so that short fat otaku finds acceptable. Right? Like, you fine him for the stickers. It's a technical violation, you did your bureaucracy. And then Elon Musk gets the memo. Everyone knows the memo. Short fat otaku doesn't. Like, he legitimately thinks, well, if you break the law, you break the law. But other companies who also break the law, like, I guarantee to you, they're not going to touch Facebook, they're not going to touch Google, they're not going to touch these other companies because they're playing ball. In fact, there was actually a report that came up, and the Romanian government was complaining that all the other social media companies are collaborating with the Romanian government, except for Twitter. And so, like, it goes to show that Elon Musk genuinely doesn't want to cooperate with fascists. He actually got in trouble with Brazil, right? I mean, he lost the battle, but at least he tried. And the problem isn't, like, the government asking officially. Because, like, that's one thing. Like, the government officially asks you to censor. At least the citizens know, and the citizens can decide if it's a good idea or a bad idea for the government to ask to censor. But what they're doing is, like, they're trying to sneak the censorship in. They're trying to do it behind closed doors, and they're trying to say, oh, ban this journalist. But don't say you're banning it on behalf of us. No. Like, pretend that you're banning him because he broke the rules. And because Elon Musk doesn't want any of that shit, that's why they decided to fine him. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.